Yeah, if there's no light bouncing around, I guess, right?
Yeah, there's probably thermal light, but now you get some lava. Oh, there's a goblin.
There's a creature in there. Look out! It's coming for your booty.
What's she pointing at? She's pointing at something.
Probably. It's just pointing at herself. Actually, she's behind you. She's been behind you the whole time. Look out.
Oh.
Landon, you're still not on camera right now, by the way.
I'm not on camera?
No, you're just...
No one's on camera.
No,
they can hear us, right?
I can see the background. I can see in the back. I'm magic.
I have no idea, because it's not showing me anything.
I am the Wizard of Oz, as it were.
Yes.
I am, in fact, the man behind the curtain.
The goblin behind the curtain?
It was me the whole time.
Ah.
Yeah, I was blowing people
It was me the whole
last
time.
night
I'm the bad guy.
with D&D logic and D&D, like, wacky nonsense.
I caught onto it within 5 seconds.
I wonder if Rez stayed up too long just thinking about, like, all the consequences.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The ramifications.
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, our fireworks display started late, but it was pretty good.
Oh, that's nice.
And there were more Canadian fireworks on the 4th of July than there were on the 1st of July.
Maybe because the Americans are kind of irritated with their country currently. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Debate Hub. We are here on our Volcano show talking about volcanoes. Landon, I've got Maanyaa with me. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Tash. How are you feeling today?
I'm tired.
You're tired. Oh, my goblin's tired.
I'm
ready for a nap.
Yeah. Landon, it's our responsibility now to make sure that she doesn't fall off and sleep on the floor.
That's true. We may not be able to do much, but she does have a cute little critter in the background corner over there. Is that your ramen? No, the other one. Oh, that one's cute too. That one in particular.
Oh, the ramen son.
Yes. But not as cute as Dr. Proton, which is in Maanyaa's background.
There's also a
oh,
he walked away because I didn't feed him on time, and he's very miffed with me. Tash, what did you do? Come back up. Raise your fucking seat.
Point at their mouth and go.
It doesn't go any higher.
Don't tell me it doesn't go any higher. Then bring your fucking camera down.
My seat doesn't go any higher. I'm sitting on a cushion.
Oh my god, this goblin.
I can't tell what my camera is because it looks like it's inside of a rock, and the other one's
currently you're Landon, are you screen sharing?
I was not screen sharing.
There you go.
There
hello.
Okay.
There we go. Hi,
Landon. We are professionals. We know what we're doing.
I love it. I love it. Landon's embraced that motto with full enthusiasm.
I apologize to Dapper for stealing that line, but
we're professionals. My unfinished journey for 5 said busy day, but just enough time to share 3 times, like 5 times, and say hi. Thank you very much, my unfinished journey. I greatly appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
I hear you on the busy days.
Yes.
Hey, it's Saturday for me, so I'm fine.
I've been doing a bunch of court prep, so if you want to help me go to court, go find the GoFundMe that I didn't link. Thanks.
I'm doing
just help her, like, stay on track while she's prepping, because she has a habit of, like, just running with shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yesterday, she sat down to watch, like, what, an hour, 50-minute video? I think.
It's under 2 hours, yeah.
And it took how many hours for you to cover it? 5 hours?
I mean, that was my fault for doing it in Discord.
Well, yeah, but we were also not being too responsible, were we? We were just like, yeah, Tash is distracted, let's go.
You guys are not helpful at all.
No. Yesterday, through Discord, I broadcast our fireworks in our little neighborhood.
Oh, that's cool.
And it had people from Australia and people from the former United Kingdom watch it. They had just had an election, and so the people were there were happy to see fireworks.
Party. Yeah, congratulations,
Yes.
by the way, to the UK people kicking the Tories out.
Oh yeah, everybody was rejoicing on that one.
But this is not the Unnamed Tavern. This is Debate Hub with Volcano Watch stuff, and I have my Volcano mug from the there it is from the oh, here it is. Let's see.
What are scientists?
Mine's got a tree on it.
Yeah,
I've got
with
Madam
little bits of
Curie, Faraday, Sagan, Hawking, Bardeen, Oppenheimer,
Barbie.
Tyson. Did you say Barbie? That's so perfect, actually, you know, to have like a mug with all the scientists in there and then just have a Barbie. Barbie symbol with it, you know? Yeah, because why can't Barbie be a scientist? Like, come on.
Barbie is a scientist. What are you talking about?
For those that tune in here, this is a volcano show. You might have noticed. But shall we commit volcanic discussion?
We commit to the bit.
I can do my screen sharing. Share screen.
We commit to the bit.
So what's been happening with Madam Pele? Oh no, we'll start with the original stuff, like how many active volcanoes are there.
So there currently are, as you know, one of our themes is that we live in a very wiggly, wobbly, eruptive planet. Right now, this as of last month, there's 47 volcanoes erupting. We've had 57 so far this year. And, you know, we're about halfway through, given what 23 was 71. We'll see what we get up to towards the end. It's not just that because there's some volcanoes that always erupt, and there's other ones that come and go. So we'll see how that number proceeds there. In terms of where, there are the usual characters. Indonesia is down to 8 that are actually erupting. We got some couple in Ecuador. We've got some in the ocean and in Africa and Mexico, Central America, Pacific Ocean, a couple of ones going on there. Philippines, Ring of Fires. Of course, there's always Mount Erebus in Antarctica. We had some really nice ones going on in Italy. Italy did the Mount Etna. Had some really spectacular.
Our monthly update to say that Yellowstone is still currently not erupting.
Yes, it's not even on the list, except if you watch the so-called History Channel.
Oh God, I forgot.
But yeah,
history alleged.
Alleged.
Yes. I was just curious about so Etna. Etna had a really spectacular eruption.
Oh yeah. They did. I don't want to assume their gender. They did.
And
Edna Mode.
We had a really nice.
Oh, that's where she got her name from. Understood.
That was a Mount Etna thing.
Wow.
Time lapse.
That looks brilliant. Wow.
So we always have to have. We also always have to have a little bit of what we call volcano porn.
Of course.
There was another one here when I did a drone shot of Etna doing its thing. It's a city. So yeah, it's Etna had a pretty good month this month. There's also Iceland.
Holy moly, that's beautiful. Oh yes, Iceland also.
Remember that thing last month? There was a little bit of stuff coming out of it. Now it seems to be pretty quiet. Things are smoldering in that particular volcano live.
It's like it's starting to form a mouth, and like probably might take obviously take a lot of many years, but might end up,
There's
raising.
I do want to give a heads up just in case this happens. It's starting to storm here.
Oh dear.
So just in case if the stream suddenly stops, it just means my internet probably went out. But it's probably fine. But just in case. Don't panic.
Zappy.
I could probably take over then and try and see if I could do it from my end.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maanyaa
my blessing. Go for it.
I could try.
So there's not much. We don't see much in the way of gas coming out. There's some outcasting, some big stuff. I don't think there's any flow there. This is another area where they've had lots of earthquakes. This is actually a geothermal area, and geothermal areas are prone to volcanic eruptions because of that's
also
what geothermal areas do.
And also like steam eruptions, isn't it? You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Sometimes where you walk in.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Like it happens in the cartoons. You step somewhere and suddenly there's like steam that shot you up, and you're like catapulted somewhere.
Yeah.
And burned. Those burns are not good.
a good time.
No.
You look at the thermal wise. There's this area here with some, but not very. I mean, it's hot almost. You're seeing numbers up and near boiling, but
yeah. Landon, I saw some like construction work going on there. What is happening? Are they clearing the? Are they creating a boundary, or are they?
No, they're doing. This is a geothermal plant, and they're building some new areas to tap into thermal stuff. So that's what these guys are. They're doing. I was noticing this morning. Some of these things are moving around. I think that they probably also are not only preparing this road, but also trying to tap in new wells, because obviously there's some material stuff going on down here. There was some earlier flows out here that stopped about a month ago, and they're sort of tapping into building new wells. So yeah, but closer to home, what is Madam Pele doing? Well, we've had some earthquakes. We had 20 earthquakes around East Rift. We also had a number in the Southwest Rift Zone. The gas emissions is only 75 tons per day. That's almost just a lot. That's a fart per hour. And so not much way of gas. That's an important thing, at least up in the summit. But let's look at what's happening with regards to tilt meters. So here is the most recent tilt meter on the day.
That's some.
We have these sort of mini stuff. They had they reinstalled the tilt meter, so it's a little bit wiggly here. This is getting it settled in. This is over the week. Over the month, we see. Look at this. Look at these deflation inflation events. All these again. This where it reaches a peak, it goes down and kind of bottoms out and then inverts and goes back up. Again, this sort of deflation inflation events. That's usually a sign that there's a magma chamber is turning over underneath, and that there's energy coming up when the magma sort of at the top sort of loses its fizz, it sinks down, but there's new material coming up, replaces and inverts. So we see that this tilt meter is getting settled in.
I'm here. Don't worry.
And there's a little DI event there. So we've had DI events. Hi April, by the way.
Yeah, April in the chat, who's been a member for 16 months at the Iron Goblin level. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated for supporting the channel, says Landon.
Well, one must say April with a Y, because that's an important part of her name, is the Y.
I think that is very,
it's all about the Y.
Important. I agree.
Yes.
I mean, why though?
April with a Y. Why?
Yes. Let's look at so the tilt meter is tilting because these mini little DI events, almost on a daily basis. Like you see here. Let's look at the GPS. So we had that eruption a month ago, and we can see essentially that it's sort of flattened out. There wasn't much in the way of a dip. Remember, that eruption was only June 3rd eruption was only what, a couple hours, right? So it was 11 hours long. That's that little eruption there. There is a June eruption, and since then it's expanded again and kind of up to the top. So what does this say about the future? Well, we know currently it's not erupting. Sorry, trademark Canada. But we'll get into our predictions and laugh at ourselves. Over time, it still is expanding, right? Here's the 5-year thing with these, eruption, these little discontinuities as a result of eruptions, has continued to expand. If you recall, last time we had a little mini eruption in the southwest rift zone. Here's the corner of the big island where the Kilauea volcano is. There's the summit. We have these east rift zone this way, going to the east. That's why it's called East Rift Zone. And the southwest rift zone going to the southwest from the summit. And along the southwest rift zone, we had, for a brief 11-hour period, several cracks form and some lava pour out, only to stop. We had seen a bunch of tilting going on. In fact, in this rift zone, you can tell there's lots of cracks here. What we did have here is a new map showing deformation. Every little color switch is roughly cool. 1.5 centimeters. So there, see, all those bands represents 1.5 centimeters of push. Here's the top. Again, you can see from Big Island where we are, the summit of Kilauea. This is and Maanyaa is up in this direction up here, and we can see this is here. So here's Maanyaa right here, in the summit, and we can see that there is a dike opening. One of the dikes are pushing through the southwest zone quite forcefully. This is basically May through June, so this includes the period of time where we had the 11 and a half hour eruption. And remember, the model was that there are two sort of magma dikes pushing down. The lower one's the more massive one, and the upper one smaller. The model is that the lower one had pushed its way down quite far, caused the ground above to crack open, and the upper magma tube broke open, just simply the fact of the strain of the rock, right? That this dike opening is here. Now that's to June 6th. So here is what's happened between June 6th and June 13th. There is not as much inflation going on there, but there still is. Again, the same 1.55 centimeter range, still focused in the southwest rift zone. So there's definitely is pressure going on here. And we look from June 16th to June 29th. There is continued inflation, and you see. So let's go from eruption time to this period to this period. So you can see that there appears to be continuous push down the southwest rift zone. But and here is some images came from Fieldworth. This is what baby rocks look like. Really cute baby rocks.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And they're quite brittle, aren't they?
They have just been born.
Yeah, just been born. The silicon sheen on the top is still quite fragile. This is a giant petri dish, and the bacteria is going wee, and all the microbes going wee. They're having a good time because there's all kinds of rich nutrients, and it's nice and warm. So it is just in this tropical land. So it is going to town, and the bacteria is going munch, beginning to think of it as rock mold. beginning to decay the rock. But this was just one of my friends who did out visit to the thing the day after eruption. Here's another one. Again, it had been just June 3rd, and this was the set. Not good to walk on at the moment. This is probably somewhat hard, but if there was a little bit of soft, squishy things with liquid lava underneath, you would not have a good time.
Gonna be stuck there for some time. Yeah.
And also can be quite slick and brittle. So
yeah.
Not the best to walk on. Particularly if you don't know whether there's a crack underneath, because remember there was lots of cracks. This is the view from the 6th, showing that what happened in that 11 hours.
Wow, that looks brilliant.
And you can see some of the other rifts in this area. There's Mauna Loa heading up, way up that way.
Wow, looking at the scale comparison of both, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it really is a thing where Mauna Loa is the long mountain, Kilauea is the baby thing on the side. Here are some images from those cracks that formed. Remember, again, we're looking off.
That's how you get those fuck off holes in Minecraft.
Yeah, remember, guys, if you want to go to Avernus, that's where the entrance is. That's where the portal is.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Avernus.
And if you remember...
Plus Avernus, all the other layers of 9 hells.
Technically, it's actually probably would be closer to a portal to the elemental plane of fire, but, you know.
But...
Yeah.
Okay,
So if you go back to that again, this is part of that dike opening.
You're the master, I'm just a student.
Ask your DM.
The magma pushing down the southwest rift zone, causing this opening, these cracks opening. Well, we see that's where it broke open. These are further cracks down the line. This is the lower magma tube causing the upper crust to crack open, and it happened to be a smaller magma tube that said, okay, and pushed out. Had the lower magma tube been able to break through and go up into the crack, we'd have had probably a much larger eruption. And if you look around here, so a lot of activity occurred. We're saying, okay, it's time to put a lot more sensors in the area. As you remember, there wasn't much in the way of cameras, so they're putting in seismographs here. This is the power station and microwave link, and you're basically digging a hole to put. You want the seismograph on stable rocks down below, so you basically sit down here and have the trench the line over. Lots of other field activities, putting sensors in place, because as you can tell, go ahead.
Landon, the wiring that you use, right? Is it like single layered or like double layered, excluding the insulation?
This is actually shielded Cat 6 cable. The shielding is also really good for thermal shielding, as well as having protective coating.
Yeah, so it has one protective coating, then another, and then the insulation.
Yes.
Then all the
and then there's shielding. So there is thermal and conductor shielding, which helps it survive for a little bit. If Madam Pele is hungry, as they say in Stephen King.
She's gonna so those are my noodles now.
But has Pele started an OnlyFans yet?
Oh fuck my life! Come on, Chet.
And if not, can I volunteer as the marketing and agent and be paid for that? Because I bet you, if you wanted to make money for your Pele, you could for your research, you could probably do an OnlyFans with like a tasteful nudes calendar.
Imagine having like an OnlyFans account named Madam Pele. Don't tell anyone. just advertise it and let people come and like subscribe to it, like just for like $2 or $5 a month or something, and just like start posting like pictures of volcanoes of Madam Pele.
And you could have pictures of volcanoes, but you could also have some pictures of the local flora and fauna. You could also have like some video of like some of the local pathways, and that's like aesthetic like ASMR ear porn. And then you could also do like have some photos and some well put together like personifications of Pele that may or may not be at the British Museum instead of where they should be.
I'm just thinking of some Hawaiians who would really like that idea, and others that would really despise it.
Listen, I'm not here to make everyone happy. I'm just here to expound upon the possibilities. What you do with that information is not my fault.
Like
that notion of the
research.
Sure.
Research.
I just told you that Chekhov's gun is on the table. All right, that's all I've said.
Who's gonna pick it up and shoot it? That's the question.
But I think there is a thing originally from live cam stuff for people to.
Do you have any idea? I would feel like such an asshole if I made this without anybody's like permission or like anybody's like knowing I did it and just raking in money on Pele.
Just as a goblin, you never know what's going to happen there. So
I feel like such a douchebag.
But there are nice in the upper area near the park. There's some nice trails. If you go to Volcanoes National Park, yes, this is an intentional plug. Please go to the park. Pay your little entrance fee there, where you can come and go for the week, and you can go on these nice trails, and you might even see volcano wandering folks going up and down.
There was also a question from Mark Agamotto in the chat that I just want to get to for Landon that says, is it solid or braided wire?
Ah, now the question's coming. Thou answer my questions. I know.
That's I'm trying to think about the area there. It's braided wire around it as part of the shielding. So there's multiple lines. Each line has a braided shield, and it's maybe a solid copper core. Maybe?
Yeah. So each copper core will have its own shield insulation.
Yes.
And so they are not braided. I don't think so. They're braided because it interferes.
That the core is not.
Yeah. No, it's not braided.
Yeah, you hear a reflection. So I think the signal. Yeah. But the signal goes down the inner core. There's a little bit of insulation. There's a braided shield around that, and then those wires are woven in a particular pattern, so they're not straight inside the tube. There's this weaving. You can tell because my arms are doing this weaving pattern.
As a child who grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, I would like to point out that if anybody starts telling me about tubes, I'm going to automatically assume they are filled with yogurt.
And in that sense, so these do not have these do not have yogurt, to my knowledge. I've never seen yogurt.
So you can't 100% confirm that there's not yogurt. So there could be yogurt, but you're saying it's unlikely. You've never seen.
Okay.
Stop!
So well, this is not a good Cat 6 thing. You can see that there's solid core, right?
Yeah.
There's solid core here. And then these are twisted pairs, and then those twisted pairs are then woven around. If you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this looks like the end stuff, and then so there's a much better keyboard than this.
they're much better
it's
designs.
close like that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this thing here. So this is each skin has a shield, and then there's shielding around that.
I see you.
That's what I was asking.
See you. You know who I'm talking to right now. They know who they are.
Okay.
So,
right, okay.
so I guess that these people, they call it Cat 7, but it's really the Cat 6 stuff. So the ones I've seen, they're solid core. They have a pair that's twisted, so there's ground and signal. Those, like this Cat 7 thing, they call it Cat 7. Those are shielded, and those are woven, and there's a shielding and insulation around that.
They're used in environments where you have like weather wearing them down. Like we on our site we have the same cables to connect all our offices, because our offices are not like permanent buildings. They can be moved around. So so to connect the Ethernet and internet, that's what they use. And that's what I was asking.
Oh, good. Good question. Now they can also carry a lot more data, at a higher rates, because there's less interference. The kind of things we do with these cameras and links are relatively low data rates. They're more, as Maanyaa said, for environmental production. We also make use of various cases. These are not pelican cases, but pelican is often these sort of boxes that we found are quite good environmentally wise. So the tilt meter. Remember, I mentioned the tilt meter has been worked on. Here's the actual tilt meter.
Oh wow!
Down here being repositioned, and so yes, it's the sensor sits down there, and in this sort of rock area, this sort of rock well, to try to insulate it from wigglies and stomping stuff. It's if you had been up in the park, you might have walked by it and not know what this cap was, but there it is down there. We also went and did some sampling of the rift zone. Looking at some of the cracks further down, and had these nice. Everywhere was outgassing this little sulfur thing, so you have this nice sulfur dusting. Again, because we're talking about this area down here.
Alex from the chat pointed out and observed that this show is a perfect mix of chaos and education.
Yay!
Yeah, so I like these sort of very, very delicate sulfur crystals that came out.
Praise.
Wow, that's
usually we don't have much very high sulfur content. It's not like anesthetic stuff, but there is some sulfur content in Madam Pele's stuff. So let's go back to some of the things. I think also we're looking at some of these things here. This is another bit. Again, we call Volcano. Yeah, so you can see how the cracking, then the remaining gas kind of outgassed and gave us a nice little sulfur dust.
See, and this is why I think people who write fantasy should study a little bit more geology. Because how cool would it be to fight instead of just, your standard fire elemental? The fire elemental looks like he's made out of mustard and is made of sulfur.
Actually, that would be closer to the hells, because sulfur, and demons kind of go together. So that portal might be to one of the 9 layers of hells. D&D.
A little faint dusting. So this was a bit more than the usual amount of sulfur that came out of these cracks there. It was kind of interesting. What it suggested was that the magma in the upper tube had a lot of trapped gases that sort of concentrated, and towards the end, with the cracks where lava didn't come out, sort of outgassed. So what does Pele do as a result of all this stuff? Well, she decides that I'm going to start having earthquakes down the 8th rift zone, because
why not?
Why not?
I am Madam Pele. This is my realm. This is my domain.
I need to get like that suspense boom, and then when anybody ever says why not, I can put a picture of the Pokemon why not, and it just goes boom.
So
you know, disappears.
It's one of those things where we saw all this activity going on here and here and all this sort of stuff, and so what happens? Well, Madam Pele decides I'm gonna start cracking rocks down the East Rift Zone.
She's like, "Hey, take my babies. I'm throwing my babies. Take care of my babies."
So we looked at this thing. Oh, we just got an update here. Another earthquake. So if we look at the set going on here, last 7 days, 383 earthquakes in this zone. So here for folks there's the Halemaumau summit area. This was a southwest rift zone where we were looking at things, and there are a few quakes farther down the line, but most of them are going this area. In fact, if we look at the bigger quakes, there were some 47 quakes that were 2.5 or greater. Here again, there's Halemaumau summit.
47. Oh, okay.
Right. In the last 7 days. Now, if you look at the last day,
7 days.
It's somewhat quiet. So whatever was going on has kind of stopped.
Settling down.
No big ones. A little bit if there's so it is kind of curious that it started quaking this area, even though it's expanding in this area here. You might say, well, what's going on? Well, I would think maybe one explanation is that the magma that's pushed, then is sort of pushing into this region because again, we're looking at this kind of stuff. The amount of tilt did slow down from there.
What can I make? Can you go back to the one of the guy standing beside the rolling rock?
Are you talking about this one? Or this one?
No, the one where he's standing beside like the shelf. Where it's like up to like his chest. He's side by side with it, and he's walking beside like the new.
Oh, this one here?
No, the one where it's taller.
Or this one? This one?
Yeah, that one. Okay. Can I make a brownie that big?
Yes. Should you is another matter.
Of course, it's a brownie. What are you talking about? How much weed would I need to make it a pot brownie, though? How many mega pints of...
Oh my god. How many mega pints of dough would you need?
Oh my god, Generic. Me and Generic are on the same page right now.
So yeah, it's a everything again. We had this swarm of quakes, and there's some that were plus 2.5, and then it's just kind of stopped. At least for the day. So let's look at up at the summit. So here is Halemaumau, and the drop down block. The last eruption that occurred at the summit was over here. And if we look at the live picture today, that's what it looks like, right? This is from the down drop block, looking out towards the other direction of the summit. So that was the previous eruption went on this area here. And again, we see this. We also see that similar sulfur dusting as stuff sort of outgasses and leaves behind some stuff. Now, weathering wise, this will all get eventually washed away. But you can also tell from the summit, lots of layers of things.
Rez just gifted us 10 memberships. Thank you very much, Rez. Greatly appreciate.
Thank you, Rez.
Thank you so much. They went to Katina, Alex, Rodent, Mark, Dash, Ian, Dev, Red Eye. Hi, Red Eye. If you're here. Tesla, and somebody who just goes by Me, which is hilarious.
Me. Hi, Me.
Me.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And also, I think so.
Hi, Me. Is that you?
There was also someone like Dash X and Ian debunked, and then another account which
I
is
read
called
them all
Dave
out,
Anand's.
Maanyaa.
Did you read Dave Anand's Missing
Yeah.
Liz? Oh
I just didn't read the whole thing.
Fucking...
It's just Dev.
Oh, Dev. Okay.
Yeah.
We pronounce that Dave, so that's
you didn't even realize I said that one.
Yeah.
I have a kin, and I wanted to make sure they were represented.
Pronunciation in different languages means nobody understands shit.
Yeah. So the live thing here, another in the caldera looking out towards the down drop block. Live picture there with stuff. So cool things here. If we look down in the east rift zone, so this is the area where all those earthquakes had been occurring this week, but not today. And we can see, just in case Madam Pele decides to do something, there's some cameras down here. You see, here's the big Mauna Loa, long mountain.
I'm still fascinated and astounded by the scale of that plain and mountain. I'm just always in awe.
It is quite it is, and in fact, it's, from people that are used to basically pointy, craggy mountains like you might find in New Zealand or in California, and you look at this
I got it.
bump here and you say, that's just a little hill. No, that air is clean and you're seeing a very, very far away.
Now in fact, I have seen a mountain, ladies and gentlemen.
I have seen the green flash occur with the sun setting over the mountain.
Oh wow!
Like a superhero name.
So
that's what happens when the Flash gets a hold of the Green Lantern ring. Becomes the Green Flash.
Okay. So here is also in
this episode
near the caldera, near the park area. In fact, you can see a little bit of park buildings over here. But this is an area where they put a camera in because we're seeing a bunch of earthquakes in this region near the summit.
Oh, okay.
And there's vegetation there, but if Pele decides to get going, that vegetation might be munched. Now, on the southwest rift zone where we had been, there's a bunch of sensors. There is that seismograph. The actual antenna thing is behind the camera. Or on the camera. The camera's on the antenna, so we can see. That's what the seismograph. Remember, they're building that hole, digging that hole with the wire. There's the result of that thing. And if you look at there's also this is looking towards. I think this is Hualalai. That's the other active volcano. It hasn't erupted since 1801, but that's what it looks like right now with clouds.
Real quick, Mark for 2 said, or when Flash ODs on gamma.
Oh, God.
Flash ODing on gamma radiation turns green.
So
is that even possible? His metabolism is so fast. I don't even know if it would matter.
Yeah, how much dose would you need to make Flash high? Yeah.
Well, it's not high, it's gamma radiation. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Please continue.
So, speaking of Mauna Loa, here's a picture up actually on the mountain, looking towards Mauna Kea, right where all the observatories are. This is a dormant volcano. So we're looking up northeast. For that, even though this volcano is just a wee bit taller than Mauna Loa, it's been worn down by a lot of rain and so forth, so it's not as big as the Long Mountain.
And speaking of the Mount Aloha OnlyFans and Madam Pele OnlyFans, Rodent in the chat said save those flashes for the OnlyFans account.
Yeah. So we look at here's a live picture again, microwave link and so forth. This is quite high altitude. I think it is near 4,300 meters. This particular station. For there, nice clouds off on the thing. It's like Pacific Ocean and other things you can see quite a ways there. This is the Keolis Summit from the road going up Mauna Loa. So you can see there's the Kilauea summit. You say, what do you mean? Well, Kilauea is just a baby volcano. It's not as big as the big one. It is over there.
Little sister.
But this is useful. Yeah, she's a little sister there. She'll do her dance and things in that spot. Again, Madam Pele sometimes visited the Long Mountain, sometimes visited Kilauea. She moves around, so she doesn't have to be in one spot. If we look over here, this is another. Again, that's I think that's the same cam.
I always love the wide shot of this slope, just because of how insanely large it is.
Yes. For again, this is looking at Mauna Kea. Here is in Mauna Loa's southwest rift zone. Yes, there's cattle ranches up there. On its south, near looking towards the south point. So cows are gone. They were there earlier today. No, they're over there. There's some cows over there. But yeah, you're looking towards the south part of the island.
They're moving.
There are also some signs you'll see saying "Beware of invisible cows."
Invisible cows.
Because people drive like maniacs when it's foggy. It rains a lot. There's sometimes lots of fog, and people say, "This cow came out of nowhere. I didn't see it." Well, you were driving like a maniac, and you hit an invisible cow. So there are signs actually around the island saying "Beware of invisible cows," because you can't see them if you're driving in a stupid way.
I always enjoy it when my warning signs have a sense of humor.
But as I say, you can tell this is an area that has not had an eruption in a while, and there's vegetation and other things there that go on. Hawaii does have very large cattle ranches, some that are bigger than those that are in Texas. Sorry, Texas, but not trademark Canada. That's a sarcastic sorry. But anyway, yes.
My God, I'm so sorry.
But Hawaii does have a fairly significant cattle industry, dating back to a bunch of important people, particularly the Parkers and their ranching. There is a list of webcams you can see. Now they've gotten quite a bit of cameras going on that we can go through and look at your leisure. Last thing, air quality. There it's barely picking up stuff. This gray area is giving you essentially the general trade winds. This is very typical of the trade winds, where the general direction of the flow, but at 70 to 90 tons per day, there's not much you can even smell. And that is the current state of affairs. So Kilauea is not erupting. Maanyaa, can you advise us on what we predicted last month?
Only if Landon comes back on camera.
Oh, sorry, trademark Canada.
That wasn't sarcastic that time, maybe.
Come back, Landon. Come back. Hey, here we go.
Hey.
So, let's see. Landon. Inflation, deflation events every couple of days along the southwest rift. And then there will be a longer-term major eruption along the southwest rift zone. Gases will be low except when there is an eruption. So I think so.
So probably the only part that's correct is that last phrase, because obviously if you look at the deflation, inflation events, they're occurring much more frequently, almost daily. And yes, they reset the tilt meter, but in fact they were doing daily, not every couple of days. and there was no major eruption. There's not even a minor eruption. And just to add a little spice to it, Madam Pele said, I'm going to send some earthquakes down the East Rift Zone just to make sure Landon is humble and in his audacity to predict what Madam Pele will do.
This is my booster seat.
This is
I've been sitting on this pillow the whole time.
Oh
you
my
didn't know.
god. Oh
Wow.
my god, oh my god, oh my god.
This is how low I have to sit if I want my feet to touch the ground.
I feel like a giant now. I'm just like, oh my god.
People say that Chesh looks bigger than she does on camera.
No, I look bigger on camera than I do in real life. Wow, you're so small.
Why are you so adorable, Chesh?
Okay, so Maanyaa, so obviously of my predictions, the only little phrase was, that last bit. Even then,
gases will be low except when there's an eruption. So that's technically correct. It's technically correct.
So like, let's just do this.
Listen here, Tim. Are you sure that's the best decision for your family? One person in the chat is gonna get that joke because they just made that joke.
Well, I don't make secret jokes. I want to be part on get the part of the joke. Okay. Here we go. Chesh.
Next.
We will see deflation events. Madam Pele will settle down for the rest of the month. So I guess Chesh is right.
Yes.
Yes. And April had said hellfire and brimstone. Crusher had said smaller eruption, maybe
wait.
month.
To give April a little thing, the brimstone, you see that those sulfur bits there? A little bit of, isn't that kind of like brimstone? Not hellfire, but maybe there's brimstone. Isn't brimstone sulfurish things? So
yeah, the greenish, green, mocha.
I mean,
what do we call it?
If I can try to pull out a phrase to say, see that I'm not completely wrong, let's give the notion that April was not completely wrong and that there was brimstone.
Not completely wrong. Gotcha. Crusher had said smaller eruption maybe next month. Smitty had said opposite of Cheshire, so Smitty is wrong. And Zar had said, Zar had said Volcano will be nauseated, but will be able to keep it down for a bit. Now, for a bit is relative. Like if they meant that week, the coming week, or the rest of the month, I don't know. Zar.
Well, that there's something to be said. If you think if you think nausea is the vomiting up of lava, and it's nauseated but not completely, but able to keep it down. That's basically I would interpret to say that it's continued to be somewhat active, but we're able to not erupt. So I would say that while not as precise as what Chesh said, I would give that as a number 2 in terms of reasonably accurate in a poetic sense.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So my prediction.
Can you be correct in a poetic sense?
Yes, if you have poetic license.
So I had predicted something similar like this. What happened last month? That was the small eruption will happen again. Another same small set of earthquakes. So I guess I was right around the small set of earthquakes. But the rest of the prediction is just like, eh. Yeah. So looks like Chesh was at the top, and then Zar came second. April came third.
Chesh wins. Goblin wins.
The goblin wins. In short.
In short.
Oh shit! My bad. Sorry.
Ooh.
What did I do?
I just got that. That's she tried to slip that one past us. Yes. So I would invite the chat to begin to formulate their predictions, and meanwhile, the three of us could start. Maybe Chess should go first, since she was the
since I was the most correct, the most not wrong.
Yes.
It's not even the most correct. Yes. It's just the most the least incorrect.
Yes.
All right. I think we're going to see stability and less movement across the board for the rest of the month. So, a stable, consistent outgassing, without too many spikes or anything like that. But we're not going to see too many eruptions either. We're not going to see any kind of...
Are you saying any eruptions at all? No eruptions at all?
None.
Or
not even
no
one.
Eruptions.
Nothing.
Not even one.
We're gonna see what looks like like when I say stability, I mean like something that is low movement consistently. So you might see a little baby you might see like little baby tremors here and there, but it's gonna be less movement overall with like a consistent hanging out where it's at.
Okay, so did you also say less earthquakes?
Yes, than what we saw this time.
Gotcha. Yeah, cool. Gotcha. Landon, what you got?
So for next month, no eruptions. We will see deflation, inflation events happening periodically. We will see brief swarms of earthquakes followed by periods of very few earthquakes, just like we saw last week.
Brief swarm of, yeah.
And
I need to stop. I need to start writing in. I need to start writing in shorthand so I can develop my own shorthand.
Or
brief swarm of earthquakes.
I feel like we need to just get a chart that says like outgassing, and then you can say yes, no, high, medium, low, and it's just like a chart.
Yeah, actually, that will be good. Baby tremors.
And
baby tremors.
Yeah. So again, no earthquakes. I mentioned that there will be deflation, inflation events periodically, periodic deflation, inflation events, and that there will be bursts of earthquakes followed by periods of quiet bursts of earthquakes probably in both the southwest red zone as well as the east rift, and no eruption, and gas levels very low.
Nice.
Sorry, what was that? No gas levels?
Low.
Gas levels very low.
Low. Gas level. Gotcha.
Very low.
Mucho low. Grande low. Big low.
Big low. Okay. From the live chat.
So what's your favorite? No, you gotta go first, Maanyaa, then live chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Maanya's trying to cheat.
No. I'm not trying to cheat.
I don't know how you would even cheat at this.
I'll say we'll see some outgassing. I am going to say we are going to see some outgassing, and then burst of earthquakes, yes, and then quiet periods. But outgassing, I'm saying we'll see some outgassing.
So you by burst of outgassing you mean we won't see things in the like sub 100 tons. We'll see a burst of gas someplace, and then
burst off like
So you'll be correct if we saw here's a spot where there are several hundred tons per day and then stopped versus just 100 tons or less. Okay.
Yeah, and then
no eruption.
No eruption.
Or eruption.
And
okay.
But a swarm of like earthquakes, like you said, a burst of earthquakes along the southwest.
Are cluster earthquakes this basically like Pele getting a cluster headache?
Yeah. Our Pele's time of the month events.
Yes. So that's my prediction.
So unlike mine, where you think that the earthquake swarms will be on the southwest zone only, I think they'll be on both
On both
zones. But
yeah, yeah,
so that'll be
that's
that's okay. Okay, what does the chat say?
From the chat, Smitty
what does the chat say?
Said a slow, steady fart, silent but deadly.
So that would suggest at very low gas levels and nothing coming up to the top. No eruptions. Okay.
When you're ready, Maanyaa.
Yeah.
Mark said a volcano will erupt somewhere on Earth sometime this year.
That's equivalent to writing your name on the test exam and leaving the rest of the test exam blank.
Yes. SAR said
so you might be graded on the fact if you spelled your name correctly, but you won't get much in the way of points for passing.
Yeah. SAR said, I'm gonna say whatever Chesh says, but in a poetic way, but I don't have the brain power to actually come up with anything poetic after you broke my brain yesterday. So this is your fault. So I blame you. Alright.
Whatever Chesh says in a poetic. Gotcha.
April
Canada.
Says there will be 400,000 fluid washing machines of lava flow springing up out of a new spot sometime shortly before the next show.
What? 200,000? What?
400,000 fluid washing machines.
Washing machines.
Fluid washing machines.
Of lava.
So,
okay.
What? And well, that's a thing. I would interpret that as we would see a major southwest rift zone event. And by the way, if we get a full scale southwest rift zone eruption, that's the kind of flows we'll see. When if that lower magma tube were able to continue to crack the crust and find a way up, we would see what would happen is that the lower magma tube having continuing to push down that southwest rift zone, causing the top to crack open, it'll enter the upper magma tube, and then you'll get all along that crack long fountains, right? That 11.5 hour eruption, you saw that flow, was only a couple of kilometers long. Typically when the southwest rift zone goes, it cracks open big. You have long chains of fountains and lots of washing machines coming out. So
fluid washing machines.
Fluid washing machines, as opposed to the clothesline drying type. And so I would interpret it to say that if there is a major eruption where Pele says to everyone else but the last person, you're wrong, here's the big event, then they would be right.
Generic is asking for some clarification, and they said, I can't make any predictions about something that isn't an angry white man. Are there any volcano Alex Joneses?
There are cranky volcanoes in the world. Mm-hmm. I tend to stay away from them because, well, cranky is not fun to be around. But the question is, are there volcanoes that are in denial?
Crusher says, I think that the volcano will do a thing.
Sure.
I think that's pretty accurate.
That's another one of you attempted to put an X where your name goes. You didn't sign your name.
I feel like the chat is just trying to cheat me out of a win. Katina said more earthquakes and 1 or 2 small flows.
Okay. So that's kind of the a bit more active than a number of us have been predicting, but small flows mean there might be 1 or 2 of these sort of few hours long events and more earthquakes. So that's quite possible, given if the lower southwest tube continues to make the upper part brittle and break open, you might get a little bit more spillovers without the lower chamber breaching the surface.
We did have one more question from the chat that was from Annoying Sparkling Wasp newsletters, and they were asking how much Pepto-Bismol would it take to chill out a volcano?
Well, the problem was, so help me remember, but Pepto-Bismol, does it not? It's going to counteract the gas. What does Pepto-Bismol actually do, physiologically speaking?
I guess it reacts with the acid in the stomach, isn't it?
Is that what it's doing? Is it calming the acidic stomach? Is that kind of what it's supposed to do?
I don't know. I just know it's pink goop.
and the pink chemical that Sheldon loves.
Pink goop.
It
upset
for
stomach.
Me, as a kid, I associated taking Pepto-Bismol as being sick, and so it psychologically sickens me, even though I know it's not.
Oh no, it does one of those things. That's what happened if I start thinking about drinking too much sourpuss. I'm just like, ugh.
So the medicine forms a protective coating over the lower part of your food pipe, the esophagus, and partly coats your stomach.
Sorry, can you say that word again? Did you just say esophagus?
Yeah, why?
It's pronounced esophagus.
I don't care.
I don't care, she says.
This is Maanyaa speaking. Pay attention.
English is my second language. Okay, fuck off. Okay,
sorry, it's always me, and it wasn't me for once, and that was really funny.
But yeah, well done.
Esophagus. All right, esophagus. Got it.
No. It's esophagus. It's esophagus. You got to put it into the dictionary. Alternate pronunciation. We lost Maanyaa. Alternate pronunciation. I do like the esophagus pronunciation. That's a fun one. See if next month you can use the pronunciation esophagus somewhere in some conversation. That's your.
Remember when we were looking up we were trying to invent a word a few months ago? We were trying to invent a word for somebody who's being maliciously stupid on purpose. They're being dumb with the intent of being mean and malicious. And we were like, what word? We need a word. Can it be esophagus?
Yes. They're esophagus.
You're such an esophagus.
Anyway, Maanyaa, that's a type of pronunciation that I would do of reading a word and not recognize what it is. So just as you know, you're in good company. I'm sorry. Maanyaa was saying something. She was describing Pepto-Bismol. We're trying to interpret.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
All right. So the medicine forms a protective coating over the lower part of your food pipe, esophagus, and partly coats your stomach. This helps protect them from stomach acid. It also has weak antacid properties that may help reduce too much stomach acid. This will ease feelings of pain and discomfort.
So it is kind of a quieting sort of material. So if what you're saying is the magma, dissolved gases of magma are coming up, this would sort of try to keep those gases in solution rather than coming out and outgassing. Because the outgassing of from the boiling of dissolved gases in magma creates bubbles, and it gives it this loft, which causes it to come out to the surface. So this would be a calming event. So I would interpret that as saying that the effect on a volcanic piping system is to greatly reduce the gassing, so that you would no longer see very frequent deflation inflation events. So no eruptions, low output of gas, and almost no DI events. Have I interpreted the so no eruptions, no and almost no deflationization of DI events, and no
output of
and
gas.
And no and nil gas coming up.
Who made that one? Who was asking
Jesh?
that one? Jesh?
Sorry, I was trying to fix something.
The Pepto-Bismol.
The Pepto-Bismol was a question by annoying Sparkling Wasp newsletter. It wasn't a prediction.
Gotcha.
They were just asking how much Pepto-Bismol it would take to make Pele like settle down.
So if Sparkling wants to make that as their prediction, that due to Pepto-Bismol, volcanic Pepto-Bismol on Pele's esophagus,
I don't know if she's going to appreciate that or not.
No eruptions, almost no gas, and almost no DI events.
The temperature difference between the magma and the Pepto might just big bada boom. Possible.
Yes.
Depends on how fast you dump the Pepto-Bismol and how far away it's got to travel, at what rate.
What is it? I'm trying to see. Oh, there's a... We lost. Okay, you're back again.
You want to try that again, Maanyaa? You want to shoot?
There we go. Those are our predictions.
Excellent.
Yay!
Excellent. Well, thank you, folks, for playing the Guess What Madam Pele Will Do Next Month game. I think the thing to show is that while we look at the telemetry and we can remember the past and explain the past, it is chaotic. It's a chaotic system and very difficult to try to accurately predict the future. But those that have been watching this show for, how long have we been going on this show?
Oh God, how long have we been doing?
More than a year now?
Yeah, we're definitely over a year. We might be starting to push 2. 2
years.
Wow.
Those that have been following along, you're beginning to see the rhythm and cycles of a volcano, and you're beginning to see events occur that we can begin to explain. It's not just a series of random events. And while it's very difficult to predict the future with accuracy, when the volcano does something, we can certainly explain what's happening. And that's why people study volcanoes, with the hope of at least catching things happening and providing emergency services and guidance to those people that are there.
Yep.
Hopefully you've learned something, and hopefully you have had a guffaw, and you got to experience a little bit of a laugh bubble through your not esophagus.
Yes.
I'm allowed, man. The amount of times you all watch me read things wrong all the time.
I found it very difficult going to public office to try to read and articulate at the same time. And I would instead, for example, have found that I would have staff do so. So we were at a public hearing and people put in comment cards where we called on people to respond. Yeah. I found it much better to have staff who's not trying to interact with stuff, pronounce names in a reasonably correct form. I mean, my worst example was to pronounce the four letter spelling of Sean as Shin.
Oh.
And that Sean was somewhat
miffed.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of like politicians having a little bit of humanity is like kind of a good thing. But on the other hand, you all three of you, Dapper included, Dapper brings me on explicitly to read things incorrectly. All the time. I am constantly reading news articles and people's names and locations, some of which are from India, and I'm like, English is my only language, and I'm trying to read an Indian word, and I'm just like,
the show that was watching the election in the former United Kingdom, they actually had a person from Wales that every time they went and dealt with a Welsh name, place name, or person's name,
yeah, Welsh.
They'd have the Welsh person, because Welsh is a challenging language to speak. But when somebody who speaks fluent Welsh speaks, it is actually quite beautiful language. Welsh poetry and melodies are actually, they sound fun.
You had a D&D character, right? That you were trying to like build. That's like, you know, that spoke a different dialect. And
I was learning some Irish.
Yeah, and yeah, what? Yeah, I would love to. I would love to know what happened with that character.
I got busy. All right, it's time for us to go. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. Welcome to Debate Hub. I hope you learned something. I hope you had some fun. I hope you had some laughs. And
there's some announcements of things happening, isn't there? Stuff.
Oh yeah, who's doing what? I don't know.
I'm working on a video.
I gotta go back to Kansas.
We have a unnamed tavern show tomorrow, don't we? Or no? Do we?
You already have Saturday.
No, wrong month.
Next Saturday we have it, and then we have it the following Saturday because I'm gonna be gone. The end of the month or back to Kansas. So we have the 13th
July 13th
is the microbrew, and the 20th is the tavern.
The 20th is the tavern. It's the 20th and not the 27th. I thought we renamed. Oh, yeah, right.
We did it. Yeah, we did it a week earlier. If you guys were amicable, I mean, you can do it without me if you would rather do it on the 27th. But I will not be here, so you can do it without me on the 27th if you would like. But if you would rather me be there, we can do it on the 20th. It would be really funny to watch you guys try to run it without me.
Especially the
lightning round.
Yeah, the lightning round. Yeah, nah, you're supposed to be there.
Well.
I am working on a video because, you know, this nerd gets petty once in a while, so I'm gonna call out Claire Bear. Just like, you know, what the fuck, girl? But in a very, very polished intellectual way. Hopefully that doesn't fly right over their heads like it did last time. So yeah.
And I believe that we will have a Volcano show on August, which would be August. Is it August 2nd?
It should be August 2nd, but I will not be here. So if you would like to do it without me, you can, or we can do it on the 9th.
We could do a mini volcano episode, or like.
You guys would be able to handle the volcano show. You guys would do that.
Yeah, we should be able.
What would you prefer? So that people can know should they show up on the 2nd or the 9th?
Yeah, do it on the 2nd. You guys got this. I believe in you.
All right.
Tag in generic minority. It'll be fun.
Sure. That'd be fun.
It would be fun. It'd be a good time. Landon, are you working on anything?
I'm working on code. I'm working on helping people understand what just happened in the former United Kingdom with their election stuff. I must say that it was fun to see Rees-Mogg lose. And in fact, I believe it was his loss that put Labour over the line as far as forming a government, which made it there. And Liz Truss, the lady whose prime ministership did not last a head of lettuce, lost, as well as a number of other Tories that deserved to lose. So I'm coming up as in helping people analyze what happened, because it was a historic and folkloric moment. Well, I'm trying to take it easy this month, and I might also just visit Canada again. Just letting Canada know there might be a Yank up there.
Huzzah! All right, thanks so much for joining us. This has been a good time. Hope you learned something. We're gonna get out of here.
Thank you.
And shout out to Benthoven if you want to help out Benthoven and his lovely little riff that he wrote for us. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Bent.
Bye.